I received an email from fellow YouTuber and audio engineer Streaky. He asked me if I wanted to take a look at his plugin called Colourbox. And this plugin is out for a few months. I've heard a few things about it. And today I just want to take a closer look and, check out what it is and what it isn't. So let's get started. Colourbox is a unique EQ plugin that does the heavy lifting, so you don't need to. It can be applied to individual sounds, your mix bus or mastering chain to achieve instant warmth, clarity and focus. Those are also the knobs that are on here, warmth, clarity, focus. This is actually a big plugin. Look at it. Look at how big the box is. Really big. It has rack ears and everything. So these three things, these are all names that people like to use to describe sounds. So when audio engineers talk audio engineering terms, they might want to talk about hertz or about dBs or whatever. But in the more real world, in the more normal people world, people like to talk about these terms more, like warmth, clarity, focus. I actually seen a plugin that I still don't fully understand, describing sounds as seasonings. So salt and pepper and spice and that kind of stuff. But the problem is just that audio and sound, it's you can't touch it, you can't see it. So it's very difficult to describe. It's very difficult to talk about sound. So it's always searching for, hey, what does this exactly mean? And when I'm reading like focus, I'm already thinking in my head and trying to translate this to audio engineering of like, hey, mid-side EQ magic, what will it be doing then? Will it be boosting something in the mid field, maybe a bit higher in frequencies, or maybe it's actually like what does that mean? It's always difficult to get the language right. Saturation, the Streaky knob. It's good that I'm reading this website now, because looking at the plugin, I would have never expected that this would be a button. It's also not labeled. I would just, that's what I would do. I would just put a little like saturation or something, a mark down there. We have sampled and combined some of Streaky's favorite analog hardware to add just the right amount of saturation to the S button on the Colourbox. The S button also doubles the effect of the warmth, clarity and focus. So it can be, so then it goes to 200, I think. Can be used heavily on drums, guitars and keyboards, as well as adding some serious flavor across the whole mix. It's the perfect mix enhancer. Yeah, it's made by fellow audio YouTuber, AudioTuber. Can we make a name out of that? Like we have synth tubers, but do we also have something for audio YouTubers? YouTudio? No. We should make something for audio YouTubers. Anyway, Streaky is a professional mastering engineer. He's been doing it for way longer than I've been doing it. And one of the things that he is doing is he's educating a lot of people through shorts. Now, Streaky and I, we do not always agree on what we are teaching. I think in a few ways we're basically the opposite of each other, of how we're thinking and how we're doing things. I've never seen that as a problem. There are simply multiple ways to do things. And also with audio and music, there are multiple outcomes to things, like it's music in the end. And I generally respect people that build up a YouTube channel, because I know how hard it can be. Yeah, I'm of course going to link to Streaky and everything in the description down below. So, quick disclosure, as always, Streaky emailed me. I actually don't know his real name. Is his real name Streaky? Could be, I don't know. He emailed me asking if I wanted to review this plugin. He also offered me an affiliate program, but I don't like to join direct affiliations with companies. I rather work with shops like Thomann, Sweetwater and Plugin Boutique. If you need something, you can use my affiliate link to help the channel, and it's not costing you anything extra. One of my assistants actually replied with like, hey, we would like to take a look at it, and if there's a license, that would be nice. We haven't received the license yet, but that's okay, because there is a 30-minute demo in here, and if I can speed up a little bit, I think I can do it within that demo. Maybe I can relaunch the plugin off. We'll see. All right, let's just play with it. We've got 3 knobs, we've got rack ears without screws, the usual YC complaints. Yeah, let's just try it out. Just getting a feel for how this sounds. I would describe this as warmth as well. Yeah. Actually more subtle than I was expecting. The noise isn't that subtle. I mean, it's already a 30-minute demo. Like, do you really think they're going to misuse it? How subtle is this? Okay. Let's listen to that focus one. So let's delta solo these signals. Is it really responding to what's happening on the input, or is it just a EQ curve? Again, we're listening to the difference now that it makes. What I like is that none of these curves get annoying, get in the way. I really think it's just EQ curves. And we can enable saturation. Okay. You have to... would be nice to have a little bit of automatic gain compensation in here. It's just nice when you turn up a button that it automatically compensates a little bit, so you don't have to constantly adjust two things with a mouse. Like on analog you can do that because you have two hands, but in digital it's nice to have a little bit of help. Let's just turn it up all the way. Okay. Okay. Let's try a different track here with the saturation enabled. Okay. Okay. So yeah, that's what it does. That's what it does. But what does it do exactly? Like what I was just saying in the beginning, like I want to translate this to audio engineering terms, and that's because I'm an audio engineer. So I'm going to use Plugin Doctor to just see like, hey, can it figure out what is going on? We of course have the linear analysis, but linear analysis is literally for linear plugins. So if this is a linear EQ that's in here, looks like it from, you know, doing this. This looks very like a linear analysis would look like. So I don't want to take that risk, and I want to take a look at the Hammerstein, whatever, measurement. And we're just going to look at the first order. So this is way more suited for non-linear systems like this plugin probably is. And this basically just sweeps the plugin and then draws out a curve. The problem that I already see is that it doesn't really like to be measured. Like it sometimes gives some weird results. That's probably the noise that's in there. That's probably the demo noise, which is like really annoying. But if we now we can see a bit more of what it is actually doing. Let's zoom in a little bit. Let's give us 15 decibels over there, so we have some sense of scale like this. So we have a curve here. We have a clarity curve. There's also a bit of boost here and there. Okay. And we have a focus curve, which is a high shelf, but probably also something in the mid-side section, which is something that I don't think I can measure in Plugin Doctor. I think it's generally difficult to measure what is happening on the side channel. Never thought about that. So if we enable saturation, you can see that we're getting some saturation. So the curve will change a little bit because of that. But we can see this better, of course, in our harmonic analysis. So let's take a 1 kilohertz tone and see if we can get some saturation on that. It should saturate. It should saturate. Don't overload it. I don't want to overload it. Why doesn't it saturate? Let's do, I don't know, just this. Let's do a -1 dB. I mean, the saturation I'm seeing here is not really. That's not a lot of saturation. Not sure what that button is for. From what I can measure. Let's look at the Hammerstein. Let's look at what's happening here. Do we have? No, our harmonics stay. It says saturation on the website. It says saturation here. To add just the right amount of saturation. What we can do is do another test. Just in our DAW. Let's just take a look at our analyzer here. Maybe it's a plugin doctor thing. Let's, I don't know, turn on the saturation. Yeah, it has a bit. Really a bit of saturation. But I think what is more impressive is that it is exaggerating those EQ curves. Let's drive it a little bit harder in there. And we've got some saturation here, but... Oh. That saturation is also there when the saturation knob isn't active. So I don't really know, you know, maybe this is also a different language. All right. Drive it a little bit harder. Okay. I don't really know. I don't know what is going on. There should be saturation in here, but it is very subtle then, or just not there. It also doubles the effect of the curves. So what is this? Is this a plugin with just a few EQ curves? Is that it? So I've actually been checking out this video from Streaky himself where he explains this plugin. And I found a comment here, downloaded the trial, tested in Plugin Doctor, blah, blah, blah. Do not buy this. And Streaky replied to this, as I said to another commenter, it's just curves and vibe, nothing to hide, no voodoo BS, just a clean sounding EQ with some saturation. When blending the curve, it's a way of getting quick results. Maybe you'll use it and get better sounding music, maybe you won't. It's there for you to give it a spin. All right, fair enough. So at least he's very honest about what it is. As he's saying, an EQ with some subtle saturation. The saturation part, I don't know. I'm just going to assume that I'm doing something wrong here. But I couldn't find saturation, and I would love to see someone in the comments that can explain me what I've been doing wrong here. I've been using a sine wave on different frequencies, driving the plugin in different ways. And the only way I saw saturation was when I was literally clipping the PCM sampling, which probably happened at the output of the plugin and not on the input. Plugins like these, you know, I don't know about it. I would never use a plugin like this. And the reason for that is that I would like to know more about what it is actually doing. I would actually like to learn how to do what this plugin is doing with basic tools, with Pro Q or whatever. I do know of a lot of people that don't want to learn that. That just literally want to have a button called clarity, or a button called focus, or a button called warmth. I know a lot of them, a lot of musicians are like that. And the value for them is way higher than the value for me, for audio engineers in general. I've seen a lot of negative stuff about this plugin, which I fully understand, because from audio engineering perspective, it's weird. But I can understand that there is a market for this. Is it the best way to do it like this? You know, I would actually prefer, if you want to help musicians, I would prefer more plugins like the Focusrite Fast bundle, for instance, or the Sonable plugins. Actually, Fast is made by Sonable. But that still doesn't give the controls like Colourbox is giving. So I'm really trying to figure out what the purpose is of this plugin, because it's just, and Streaky is saying it himself, it's just a package with a few EQ curves. I mean, a few years ago, I would instantly call this thing snake oil, but I've learned from my mistakes as well. And I just try to think a little bit more. And I think that is what this plugin is for. It's really just a quick helper for musicians and producers and that kind of stuff that just want to get quick results in the box without any intervention from an audio engineer or an external person. Is it worth the price then? I mean, again, I wouldn't buy this. So I don't know. That's really up to you to decide. What I really think is wise is that you know what you're buying. I think it's really wise to check out the trial. It's very, very annoying that it's just a 30-minute trial and it has noises in there. I mean, come on, give us a little bit more. Again, I wouldn't use this plugin, and I also wouldn't make a plugin like this myself. First of all, because I wouldn't even come to the idea of making such a thing. And second of all, if I would ever make a plugin, and I'm talking with people about making plugins, but I want to make something that really isn't out there yet and really, has to be on the revolutionizing level, somewhere around the invention of PCM sampling. Like, it has to be really, really new and good. And, I don't think I will ever be able to achieve something like that. So yeah, I'm going to leave the rest of this at the community. Leave a comment down below with what you think of such a plugin. And also what you think of what I think of this plugin. Like, am I in the right spot here? Or is this really just snake oil? Leave a comment down below. Because I do think that there's some value in it for the group of people that I just talked about. Anyway, that's all that I wanted to share today. If you like my videos and want to support me, consider becoming a channel member. And as a channel member, you get early access to videos and some access to extra content. There's a join button somewhere down below. I'll link an interesting playlist of the content that is currently available to channel members over here. Another way to support me is by simply watching more videos. So I'll link an interesting video over here. Links to everything are in the description down below. Thanks a lot for watching. Keep pushing and bye-bye.